Welcome to the GAMERamble video review for Mystik Belle, narrated by me, TarCloud. As always, the full text version of this review can be found on the GAMERamble website linked below. The TLDR for Mystik Belle is that it features an addictive blend of classic platforming, Metroidvania-inspired exploration, and a healthy dose of point-and-click adventure-style puzzles. The beautiful pixel art visuals are a definite plus, and the charming characters as well as varied locations will keep you hooked. The puzzles and limited inventory might not appeal to players looking for a more traditional Metroidvania style platformer, but Mystik Belle is definitely worth checking out. Gameplay receives a 9 out of 10. Mystik Belle has many areas to explore, many clever puzzles and some huge bosses to defeat. Graphics receives a 9 out of 10. The game boasts beautiful pixel art visuals with large, detailed sprites and memorable backgrounds. Sound receives an 8 out of 10. The audio is impressive and features a catchy chiptune soundtrack. The overall score for Mystik Belle is 8.7 out of 10. And now for the full review. Belle McVeigh is a first year student at the Hagmore School of Magic, but ends up having one of those days where nothing goes her way. In an attempt to improve her grade, she stays up late practicing fire magic, only to be knocked over by a mysterious person. Belle is barely back on her feet before she's hauled in front of a council of witches and accused of sabotaging a very important ancient ritual. Although Belle protests her innocence, she is tasked with recreating the brew, or facing immediate expulsion. An evening filled with exploration and adventures follow as Belle searches for the ingredients she needs to recreate the brew. Ever since the release of Symphony of the Night, there's been no shortage of Metroidvania-inspired titles attempting to recreate the magic, but quite a few fell short. Mystik Belle certainly shares a few traits with the genre, but infuses its platforming with a healthy dose of classic point-and-click adventure-style puzzles. As Belle explores the various rooms of the school and the surrounding areas, she encounters many items that can be collected. Some items are vital for completing a quest, while others are complete junk that can be tossed in the garbage. Since Belle has a limited inventory, you must be very careful about what you lug around, as you might find yourself on some far-flung corner of the map without the item you need to solve a puzzle. Fortunately, teleportation rooms are found at various locations around the map and serve as a means to get around quicker and as a handy drop-off point for items. Of course, you can only travel between rooms you've already discovered, but they are spaced out evenly to ensure that backtracking is manageable. We were impressed with the puzzles, as most are very straightforward and logical, but still quite clever. Solving puzzles usually requires finding a point on the map that can be interacted with and then using your inventory object on it. Don't worry, hotspots are marked with an exclamation mark when Belle passes them, so you don't have to scour the screen looking for points of interest. Some puzzles require combining items, which Belle does automatically if all the necessary materials are in her inventory. While the limited inventory space might irk some players, it never really bothered us, and brought back fond memories of early titles such as the Dizzy series. Mystik Belle features more than 60 types of monsters that you'll encounter during your quest. However, there are also a couple of friendly and not so friendly faces along the way. Talking to other people will often provide valuable clues to help you on your way and also demonstrate the humor in the game. Some of the conversations had us laughing out loud, but the game contains some language probably unsuitable for young players. In addition to solving puzzles, Belle must defeat the 8 bosses standing in her way and learn new powers to unlock previously inaccessible areas. Everything from double jumping and forward dashing to underwater breathing is up for grabs and essential to explore every nook and cranny of the large map. Killing enemies earns Belle experience points and leveling up improves her health and firepower. Be careful though, as getting killed results in Belle losing all her experience point progress towards her next level. However, her level cap of 8 is relatively easy to max out, and the game even has an easier difficulty setting if you struggle with a default challenge. The game also saves automatically when you enter a new room, so there's no need to search for a save spot when you want to stop playing. You need to stay on your guard, as enemies respawn when you re-enter a room, and some rooms also feature foes that constantly appear from the edges of the screen. Overall though, the game isn't too tricky, and genre veterans should have no trouble completing it. Visually, the game is an absolute treat thanks to its beautiful and highly detailed pixel art style. The enemies show a lot of imagination, and there are quite a few nods to other classic titles to spot in their designs. Belle and the other characters in the game have pretty large sprites, allowing for a ton of detail. While even the smallest enemies look good, the bosses deserve a special mention thanks to their size and designs. We don't want to ruin any surprises, but suffice to say that some of the boss battles are very memorable. The final boss in particular reminded us of something you would expect to find in a treasure title back in the day. The locations you can explore are also quite varied, from dark caves and spooky forests to underwater areas and dank dungeons. The audio is outstanding and features some catchy chiptune tracks that perfectly match the game's style. The game works best with a controller since you spend most of your time navigating tricky platforms. Belle can blast enemies from a distance using her wand and carries a handy broom for whacking enemies who venture too close. We had no issue with the controls except for the dash move, activated by double tapping forward. Pulling off this move consistently proved to be a bit of a challenge, but isn't unmanageable. We had a lot of fun with Mystik Belle and found it to be a light-hearted and addictive title. It features 2 different endings, and we highly recommend tracking down the 8 secret skulls to face the true final boss. Players looking for a pure Metroidvania experience might find the puzzle-solving aspect of the game a little annoying, as it can impede your progress, but we thought it added a lot of depth. It took us about 8 hours to discover everything and complete the final boss, but for the truly dedicated there is a speedrun achievement which challenges you to do it all in 1 hour. Mystik Belle is a great title and quite an accomplishment, considering it's mostly the work of a single developer. Thanks for joining me for this Mystik Belle PC review. Remember to like, subscribe and share. Until next time.